Hello?
Oh, nothing much. Got a killer headache though.
Hey, you! Yes, you. I'm talking to you. Over there.
Me?
Are your eyes hurting from all the blue light? Is your brain hurting from all the EMFs? Is your imagination understimulated, and are you generally bored from quarantined? Well, I have a solution to all your problems.
You do? Really? Tell me what it is.
Modeled from ancient technology, refined with technology of today, I introduce to you books.
What?
That's right, books. A source of entertainment that's both educating and infinite. All you have to do is pick it up and get to reading.
Wow. I've never felt so stimulated before. Thanks, books.
Books! Coming to a store near you. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you're having a good day and you're staying safe and healthy during these times. I hope you enjoyed that intro. It was really fun to make, something a little different and unique to use your imagination, because this video is about books. My book recommendations, my metaphysical and spiritual book recommendations that you should read while we have all this downtime, while a lot of us are in isolation. I'll just share you my recommendations, and if you have any that you'd like to share, please leave them down below, because I'd love to read more and expand my book collection. Books are very important, as we stated in the intro, because it stimulates your mind and it gets you away from all this electromagnetic frequencies that we're surrounded by and bombarded by every day. And it's just a lot of subliminal messaging that goes into the media. So the less you can indoctrinate yourself with that, the healthier I think our minds will be. So why not set this list off with some philosophy about the power of habit. That's what this book is called, The Power of Habit, what we do and what we do in life and business. So this book, it's been a few years since I've read it, but it's always stuck out into my mind as something I refer back to in my thought process of what my habits are and if they're healthy or not, because the habits that we do every day habitually shape our personality and the way our life is manifesting. So if you can change your habits, and it says here that it takes typically 30 days to form a habit and change a habit, then it becomes integrated into your personality and you can be more successful basically in your life. I think this book is very important because everything is cycles, and I think a lot of us get caught up in a lot of unhealthy cycles. So if we can be aware to break the cycle, then that would obviously be very beneficial to our healing and our growth. So The Power of Habit is a book I recommend by Charles Duhigg. Cover looks like that. Another self-help book from a very affluent healer, Deepak Chopra. This is called Creating Affluence. Maybe that's why I use that word. I like it because it says the A to Z steps to a richer life. So there are steps that go in alphabetical order of how to enrich one's life and different parts. So this is a really nice meditation book to read. I like to read a meditation for this every morning and meditate on that throughout the day. Deepak Chopra is just a brilliant healer. This is some examples from the A to Z steps to a richer life. A, all possibilities, absolute authority, affluence, abundance. B, better and best. C, carefreeness and charity. D, demanding and supply, dharma. E, exulting in the success of others, expecting the best. F, failures contains the seeds of success. G, gratitude, generosity, God, gap, goal. H, happiness and humanity. I, intention or intention. Intent or intention. J, judgment is unnecessary. So I'll leave it there, and yeah, I highly recommend this book. The next book, it's very interesting. It's called Heal Thyself by Quinn Afua. I'm butchering that name, but this is a very beautiful book that my mother told me about. It has a lot of like indigenous African wisdom in here, mixed with general overall healing, like physical healing, mental, spiritual, emotional. So it's a very well balanced book of just how to heal yourself overall from the perspective of a woman, from the perspective of a woman of color. And yeah, there's a lot of like cool recipes in here for like juicing, ginger, tofu egg rolls without the eggs, high protein nut milk, tofu pizza. It's a lot of healing and a lot of like journal entry opportunities in this book as well. So it's very interactive and has a lot of like interesting perspectives on every religion, Jewish, Christianity, all no matter your alignment or your belief, spirituality, your faith system, this book touches on it, and it's like pretty kosher with a lot of different perspectives. So yeah, if you're a woman and you're looking to heal yourself and further your knowledge about that, I recommend this book. The next book is a few books actually, because I can't find my original copy. I want to talk about Don Miguel Ruiz, and he wrote the 4 Agreements, and also Mastery of Love, the 5th Agreement, and the 5 Levels of Attachment. I have a lot of his books. I think when I was in India, I read like 10 of them straight. They have I really resonate with the Toltec wisdom that they emulate in their teaching, and their writing style is very gentle, and I think they have a lot of great wisdom to share. My favorite is the 4 Agreements, obviously, but I don't have that book to share with you right now. But the agreements are: don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, always try your best, and be impeccable with your word. So those are some agreements I try to live by. The Mastery of Love is really nice if you're in a relationship and you want to, or any type of relationship. We're all in different types of stages of relationships, so we all have love in our lives, and just being able to manifest that and cultivate that more, I love this book for. The 5 Levels of Attachment is just talking about how we, let's see, in this groundbreaking work, Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. writes that we all have unwittingly made agreements about what we think we should live our lives, about how we think we should live our lives, and what we believe our personal truths are. But what most of us do not realize is that each of one of us these agreements represents an attachment, a limiting filter on who we think we are and what our future could hold. The 5 levels of attachment provide you with a measuring stick to understanding how tied you are to any particular belief, idea, or opinion. Each level represents how controlled you are by your own particular way of thinking. So once again, thinking about habits and its effect on subconscious mind, this book is basically about how to ego death, how to like disconnect from your identity and your belief systems to be able to look at it, reflect, and change them, which, you know, requires some levels of suffering sometimes. So I highly recommend Don Miguel Ruiz. I went to the hospital recently because my partner got sick, and we actually looked on like the meditation, what they had provided, and he had provided some stories and some meditations to the hospitals, which I think is really cool, because obviously we need hospitals and healing spaces to be the most nurturing in terms of spiritual energetic healing. So that was really cool. The next book is by Daniel Quinn, and it's this cool book called Ishmael, and I actually heard of this book from a fellow YouTuber, forget their name, but yeah, they recommended this book in the book recommendations that changed their life or something. And I heard them talk about it. I was like, whoa, I must read that. That sounds very interesting. This book is essentially about a gorilla who somehow becomes able to talk to a man, and they just have a conversation about the state of humanity in the world, and the girl is asking them interesting questions, and it's just about the teacher man is teaching the gorilla how to evolve consciousness, but through that the man becomes evolved themselves, because the gorilla's consciousness is so pure and untouched by capitalism and all these like toxic human systems. So it's very interesting if you want a fresh perspective about the world from like a natural point of view, like if a gorilla could talk and ask questions, this is the book for you. It's very interesting. I love animals, and it's just interesting to think about what would animals say about the world we're creating, and what their advice would be of how to make a better world. The next book I have to share is called As a Man Thinketh, and my copy, as you can see, is very distressed. This book has been with me in lots of places, and I used to carry it around. I used to call it like my Bible. I love this book. It's very, very small, as you can see, so you can read it in a day. It's like 70 pages or so, and the pages are quite small. And this book is just filled with just the beauty of how thought affects reality and how we can manifest our reality from controlling our thoughts and being aware of what we're thinking. So I love this book. It's just the best thing one of the best things I've ever read, hands down. This is top metaphysical books that I'm gonna share. It's called As Man Thinketh by James Allen. The next book I have to share is The Alchemist, and I know this one is very popular. Lots of people read it. I see people read it in public all the time, and I'm like, you know what's up. You go Quinn Coco. So yeah, this book, if you don't know, it's just about this, what's his name?
Santiago.
It's about main character Santiago, and he's on a journey to discover some treasure and to find the love of his life, and etc, etc. Find his personal legend, but basically find his path in life. And he just learns to listen to the lessons of the universe and become an alchemist. So that's really cool. Yeah, The Alchemist is very beautiful. He starts to learn from Alchemist and learning the beauty of the desert and the wisdoms of nature. So highly recommend this book if you're into the whole journeying man, self-discovering himself, like the whole Buddha, Jesus like story. This is very similar. Another similar, a book that's very similar to that theme is called The Celestial Prophecy. This is about a man who goes to Peru to discover the lessons of that land. It's like a regular person who becomes chosen for whatever reason by certain people in a certain time and awakens and learns the lessons of the universe, by James Redfield. I really want to visit Peru one day, so this was just inspiration hella for me to want to get there and be able to imagine my own self there, because I know the energy is so beautiful there. And yeah, this really got me excited for visiting Peru one day. Another book that's like similar on the journey of self-discovery within man and stuff like Buddha is called Siddhartha, and it's by Hermann Hesse. And this is a translated version because the original, I don't know,
German.
Was in German. Yeah, it's by a German man. So very interesting in terms of like, well, ancient wisdom applied in a new age way for Westerners to digest. This is a good book for that. It's basically like heavily based Sanskrit, Indian folklore. It's basically derived from thoughts of that nature. So yeah, it's very beautifully written and the imagery is very beautiful. Highly recommend if you're into like religious fiction. Yeah, I recommend Siddhartha. The next book is written by a woman called Anita Moorjani. I hope I'm saying that right. It's called Dying to Be Me. It's a really beautiful book about a woman who grew up in a multicultural home, and that like conflicted her consciousness a lot to where she lost her way, developed cancer, had a near-death experience, and has come back to share with the world the lessons that she's learned during her near-death experience. And yeah, it's autobiographical book. It's very beautiful. Highly recommend if you're interested in near-death experiences and what the afterlife is like and what it's like to be a higher being or a being that knows more and having to live on this planet. How, you know, sad it can be to witness what it's like for all the suffering and how normalized it is when in fact creation is meant to be joyous and beautiful. That's basically what she talks about in this book. I really recommend it. I really resonated with her story. And yeah, it says on the cover here, my journey from cancer to near death and to true healing. So I recommend that. Recommend this book to you if you're interested in healing and death. The book I'm reading currently is Think and Grow Rich, and my mom has told me about this book since for years, like for over 5 years or something, and I was like, yeah, I'll read it. So I finally got around to reading it, and I have to say it's quite insightful. It's not perfect. It was written in like in the 1900s by Napoleon Hill, and this book is essentially a manifestation guide to how to develop monetary wealth. It's very capitalistic in the way that it's like describing wealth and It's very like also quite sexist because of the time period it was written in. They didn't really, you could tell, write this book with women in mind, that women would be reading it, also manifesting from it. So those are some critiques about this book, but overall, if you can look past it and see into the energetic message that it's saying about like auto suggestion, how you can basically imprint anything into your subconscious mind to manifest anything that you want. And if you believe in something, then it will happen. And the steps you have to not only believe, but you have to take plans and take actions to connect with others who agree and feel the same way that you do in order to manifest your goals. If you do those things, then you'll manifest anything. And I think these steps can be applied to anything in life that you want, not just money. I think this book is very important to know if you're wanting to know how to manifest more, Think and Grow Rich, because we're all wealthy inside, you know. Some honorable mentions that I can't find right now is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I already said how this is an amazing healer. I'm sure you've heard of their name if you're into the spiritual community. I prefer the term metaphysical because spiritual is simply everything. So metaphysical is just like the descriptions of the spiritual world and the physical level. Spiritual energies in the physical world. So I think they're a great metaphysicist and Eckhart Tolle and a great healer. So The Power of Now is all about how to harness the power of now and be centered in what is now. And that's actually why I got this now tattoo. So I remember always use the now for the best and the best capacity that I can, and know that anything's possible now and everything is a recurring infinite spectrum of possibilities now, and it's up to me to take access of that. So I want to mention that. And yeah, I guess I thought I had more honorable mentions, but I guess I don't. If you have any book recommendations that you think I should read for this time to further myself and my self-growth, my spiritual, my metaphysical knowledge, please link the books down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.